today's session is going to be for Power Query, okay, which is something
Okay.
very powerful tool in our MS Excel. First, let's try to understand what is this Power Query tool. So this Power Query is a data connection and transformation tool available in Microsoft Excel and Power BI. It allows user to import, clean, transform, and reshape data from various sources, all without writing complex formulas and code. So that is the beauty of this Power Query tool available in MS Excel and Power BI. That without writing any complex formula or code, we can still do, clean up our data, okay, to transform our data and reshape our data to get some insightful information. So that is the benefit of our Power Query. Simplified data import, like sourcing the data from various sources. Okay. So very easily we can connect to that data to the source. Automated data cleaning. It cleans the data automatically with very minimal efforts. Okay. And no complex code, like as I already told, we need not to write any big code, okay, for particular column to save the data. We'll do it very quickly. And then data reshaping data to fit your analytical needs. Okay, so that is the use of our Power Query, which is available in MS Excel as well as in Power BI. In all the MS Excel's version from 2016 onwards, this Power Query is available. Okay. Now moving to next slide, getting data, like sources from where we can get the data. So we can import data from Excel files, workbooks, CSV or text files, from web URLs, from folder, batch import, like we have multiple files, saved in a folder. We can directly import that folder itself, and Excel will take care of all the files at a time. SQL Server. SQL Server is like we have some application, web application, where the data entry is being done. Okay. And the data we enter into the application is getting stored in a server. Okay. And we all know the data get stored in a table format. Okay. So with the SQL Server, okay, if we provide the SQL Server name and if we write the SQL query, Excel will pull out your required data from the server itself. That is also a very powerful, connection it can build with the data. And in the last, refreshing query data. Okay. So once we establish the relationship of connection with all these types of data with in our Excel through the Power Query, okay, and then after, if any change happens to the base data, to the source data, and if we just refresh, okay, our query, automatically the change will happen to your, shaped data. Okay. The insightful information, some extract you have got from the, large data. Okay. The change will automatically will happen. Okay. So refresh, we can do refresh also. Even if we have put a connection through a URL, through a web, okay. If any change happens to that URL, to that web, okay, automatically that impact will happen to your Excel data also, okay, with just a refresh button if we click. Okay. Now I am going to MS Excel, okay, and there we will see how all that happens. So last class, Mamta, you were not available. On that day,
Yes.
we went through all these topics: hyperlink creation, remove, drop-down creation, attaching files within Excel sheet, trim, date and time sort key, text to column, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, concatenate formula and use pivot, transpose formula, sum and sum, auto sum, left, right, mid. So let's start
Okay.
with Power Query. Okay. So for Power Query, the tab we have in our Excel is data. In that, the very first option we see is get data. Okay. Next to that, we see from text slash CSV from web. Okay. So these two options directly available. But if we see there is a small drop down arrow, okay, if we click on that, so a lot of options to get the data will be available. Okay, so now we are going with the from file. Okay, in the from file, we see these many options available from Excel workbook, from text CSV, from XML, from JSON. I have no idea what is that, from PDF and from folder. Okay. So first I will start with Excel workbook. Then I will show you, I can show you text and CSV also. And definitely I will show you from folder. There is no big difference. It is just sourcing the data. Okay. So first I am going to start with Excel workbook. Okay. Now you see it's asking to browse your file. Okay. So wherever you have placed your file, you can go to that location, that folder path, and you can select your file and open. Okay. So my files are available in document folder. Okay. So there we have multiple access. I'm just going to select this loan data Excel and going to import and just wait for few seconds. You will see a navigator window will open. There you can see, if you see here, this is the folder got created. Okay, inside it is showing the sheet 1. Okay, where actually we have the data, so we have to select that, just click on that. Okay, once you select that, the data will be loaded just next to that on the page. Then in the bottom, if you see, you will be seeing the three options: load, transform data and cancel. Okay, so if we want to directly load this data, okay, we have to just click on load. The same data which you see here on your navigator window will be coming on your Excel sheet. Okay. Now I can see there are some unnecessary rows in this data, and at the same time in the column 1, first column, the header is not placed properly. Because of that, this navigator window was not able to recognize the header name, and as a default it has put it as column 1 instead of serial number. Okay, so all this, it requires some data massaging. Okay, some changes need to be done, which can be done through transform data only. Okay, so we have to go on transform data. Okay, I will click on transform data. Just wait for few seconds. Okay, now you see we have landed to our Power Query Editor page, right? There we can see. Okay, now again, before doing anything to it, okay, I'll again going back to our PPT, and there what are things I have listed down there. Okay, one by one I'll be explaining and then coming back to here Power Query Editor and performing those things. Okay. Yes. So in getting data, I have sourced the data from workbook as of now. We'll show how to source the data from CSV text files from web. Okay, and yes, SQL server is not available. Okay, if I can get anything, any server address, anything. Okay, so definitely I'll schedule a call for that, a session for that also. Yeah, folder batch import. Okay, that also will be showing. Okay, let's move to next slide. Let's see what is listed there. Yeah, Power Query Interface Overview. Okay, so there I have to explain about this page first so that you should understand the things in a very structured way, not getting confused with any of the page. Okay, so till now, if I have to again rephrase you, okay, so what we did, we opened an MS Excel. Okay, from there with the data tab, we went to get data and imported a file or say browsed a file from the a folder it was placed. Okay, it took to our navigator window. There it asked if you want to load the data directly or you want to transform data. When we clicked on transform data, we landed to this Power Query editor page. That is the page that in front of us. Okay, we can see. And here we can make the changes in the data. Okay, any kind of transformation which we want to make into this, we can do it here. Okay, so let's understand, the structure of this page. So you can see in the right side, this pane is for query setting and applied steps. Okay. So any change we make into this data, okay, it will be recorded as a step here. Okay. Which you will be able to see here as step by step. Okay. And if you want to, repeat those steps again, okay, next time with any other data, you can do that with your recorded steps. Okay, that is also a functionality of this Power Query editor. Okay, recently I did something, so those steps are recorded, but I am not going to use those steps here, so I will simply remove. Okay. Okay, so this is the pane of applied steps, and extreme left side if we see, so this is the queries we have put in. So here actually, we can see the data till now we have imported the various sheets. Okay, so the errors we see here, because I have recently moved the files from one location to other location, so these are not, this Power Query is not able to get data. Okay, source file is changed, so it's showing the error. So we don't want, so we can delete it also. Okay, or say just before this sheet 2 I had loaded this sheet. Okay, the same data, so it is there in sheet 1 also. Okay, there also it is available. But anyway, I am going to work with the sheet 2, so I'll delete this. So that is how, the operations we can do. Okay, the left side we have query section, and this is, our main window. Okay, in that on the top we can see is a formula bar. So in any step you apply, it get recorded as a formula. Okay, so without, that is the beauty, without typing or writing any formula. Okay, the same thing, get recorded as a formula. Okay, so this, that we can see into our formula bar. If we want to have that formula bar, we can have. If want to remove, okay, we can remove also. We can go to view, okay, and there we can, yeah, we can untick formula bar. It will go away. If we keep it checked, okay, it will appear. Okay. So these are the, and yeah, so this is our uh, ribbon. Okay, this area is called as ribbon, where we got the various tabs as file, home, transform, add columns, view. Okay, so this is how our Power Query editor, page looks like. Okay, okay. So I have completed that slide. Next, let's see what is the next slide. Okay. Yeah. Basic transformations. What we can do into, okay, like removing columns, rows, okay, change data type, replace value, split columns, okay, by delimiter, number of characters, okay, merging columns, trim or clean text, all these functionalities, how we perform into the data. Okay, that I will be showing you little bit. So this is our data. Okay, so I am going to make uh this data little uh better. As we see, there are unnecessary rows where values are not available. That's why it is showing as null. Okay. At the same time, we can see the header. Okay. Uh, the Power Query has not taken the headers. Okay. Rather, consider the headers. Rather, it has created its own headers, column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay. So I'm going to, do some transformation here. Okay. See how we can do that. Okay. So the first thing you can see here, this row is unwanted row. Okay. We don't want this row here. Okay. So we can delete it. Okay. So be there on home tab only. Okay. Go to reduce rows option. Okay. I'll take a moment to explain this ribbon also. Okay. So that you should not never should get confused by seeing the so many options, different type of icons for different options. Okay, so always see everything is well organized, nothing is like jumbled. Okay, so you can see here, some separator lines, very thin lines, but it separates, okay, or say it groups the option of the same type of options. Okay, so if you see very thin line here to here in this section, this is called as query, and it got some, um, 4 5 options. Similarly, again we can see another section, okay, with a very thin line created here, okay, and that is called as manage columns. Okay, and then after we have the section reduce rows. Similarly, we got sort, and similarly we got transform. Okay, this much area is for transform, and then combine, and then parameters, then data source, and then new query. Okay, as of now I want to perform um, a task on selected row. Okay, so I'll go to this section row, and there I'll go to remove row. Okay, there I'll select, we got these many options here: remove top rows, remove bottom rows, remove alternate rows, remove duplicate rows, remove blank rows, or remove errors. If there is error in any of the rows, we can delete it. As of now, we are going to delete top rows. Okay. Once I click on this option, pop-up window will open. There it is asking that how many rows you want to delete from top. Okay. So number of rows it is asking. Okay. I am going to mention like 1. Okay. So you can see a row got deleted, but that row was not required to be deleted. Okay. Because that row was having, header names. Okay. So what I will be doing, okay, I can again, the same step has got recorded into the applied steps here. Okay. So once we click into this, again, if we click on this cancel option, so our, it is like control X, okay, control Z, sorry, control Z and control U, the we perform into our MS Excel. Okay, same thing, with the cancellation of the steps here we can do. Okay, so the moment I click on this, you can see our data is backed as it is. Okay, so I want to remove this row. Let's see how can we remove. Yeah. So this row is, if we say, is completely blank. Okay. Everything is null into this row. There is no data. So if we write on, click on say remove blank row. Okay. So you can see that blank row has gone. Okay. Now, but I want all these, you know, uh, column headers which are in the table. Okay, I want to make it as a header. Yes, here it is.
You just click where you are.
Yeah, in the
Uh,
transform itself, it is there. I
right,
think
right,
here
right.
also we
There.
have, if we go to transform, there also, no, here transform option is not available. Is if we click on here, then we can get the transform. No, here also the transform is not coming. Okay. Anyway, so like if we go to this option, okay, choose first row as header. If we click, yeah. So the first row, we can see it has become as header. Okay. Um, Account number, borrower, facility type, loan one, loan two, all the data has become as header. Okay. Now we can see the first column, the header name is still column one because the serial number was not placed in the first row. Okay, so we can, we can edit it. We can copy also. We can right click, copy it. Okay, and then double click on the header name. Okay, and then we can type or we can paste also and just enter. Okay, we can see our header name got changed to serial number. Okay, now we want to remove this row. No more we want this row is to be there. Okay, so again we'll go to remove rows and remove top row. Okay, there I'll mention row number. Okay, one. I'll click on OK. So that row is gone. Okay, so now you can see, okay, our data is cleaned. Unwanted rows are deleted, okay, or removed. And we got header also in a very proper way. Okay, the other things I want to tell here, okay, like the changes we can make here. Okay, that the some functions will be trying to show here. Before that, if you try to understand, you will be able to see something in a very small square. Okay, here you can see it is written as ABC 1 2 3. Here it is written as just 1 2 3. Here only ABC. So what is that meaning is whether the data in the column is string or integer. Okay. So what does that mean? If we talk about integer, the whole numbers. Okay, you know whether it is plus or minus, positive or negative, any whole number is considered as integer, or any other like character, you know or any alpha numeric, okay, sequence of data, okay, that is considered as string. Okay, so this row, like I don't know, but uh, the data present in the column, okay, is having both string and integers. Okay, that's why it is coming as ABC and 1 2 3. But this column have the data only as integer. Okay, that means whole number. That's why it is showing only 1 2 3. Similarly, here only string, here only integer. Okay. So that also we can change. Okay. So how we can change? If we right click, okay, and we go to change type, okay, and there if we click to we select whole number, yeah. So you can see this column got also changed to whole number. Okay. Similarly, if we go to this column, okay, this column is like whole number something. I want to make it as amount. Okay. So I'll right click, we'll go to change type. Okay. I'll click on currency. Okay. Now you can see this, these numbers got separated with comma, and with the, we have decimal values also. And the symbol here also got changed to dollar. Okay. So that means now Excel will recognize this column as, amount. Okay. As not just a whole number. Okay. So with that, we can, change the data. Why this thing is required? If your data in the column is not standard, okay. So if then after if you try to put some formulas, if you try to perform some activity, it will not work. So your data into the column should be is in a standard. Okay. So that's why having the data in a standard format is very much necessary. So that we can do through the change type. Okay. At the same time, okay, like other things also we can perform with the data, like going to this column. If we right click, okay, we can see another. So here you got these many things to do: decimal number, currency, whole number, if percentage, date, only time, date time with the time zone, duration, so as of now you can see this data is in text format. Okay, so that's why we can see checkbox is text, checked on text. Okay. Now we can perform some more functions on the transform data option. There we can see like lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, trim, clean, length. Okay, all these things we can do. So the moment if we click on lowercase, the data will become lowercase. Okay, if we click on uppercase, it will become uppercase. Okay, if we click on capitalize each word, so that means how we can see here capitalize, C is capital, each capital, word, okay, word, W is capital. In the same way, our data will also become. Okay. So let's see if I click on, as of now, we can see our data is not standard here. Okay. Jindal, J is capital, JSW, all three letters are capital, Tata is in capital, Reliance, first letter is capital. It is not a standard, right? Air India, all the letters are capital. Okay. So um, let's capitalize each word.